Hey guys, what's up? I'm here in this video to recap the Apple event that took place on March 7th, 2012, where they released the new iPad 3. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is running down the course of the event and letting you know exactly what was released with what features so you can figure out what you want to buy or what you don't want to buy, and just my general thoughts on all of these things. So, to begin, Apple opened up the conference, talking about the success of the iPad, the iPhone, the iPod Touch, and iOS. They said that all of them have been doing really well. They're really blessed to have these products. They also talked about retail stores and how their stores, especially the Grand Central store, etc., have been really great hits. And they've been doing a lot with them. They say that for these products to be introduced, they want new retail stores and great places to be distributing them and have great places to allow people to discover these products. The first actual thing that they released that you can take part in is iOS 5.1. Apple said that iOS 5.1 is going to be available today with Japanese support for Siri, and it's going to be actually in Japan today as well. So that's good. I'm going to be downloading that and probably be doing a review for you guys later today or later this week. Also, Apple talked about their App Store and continued talking about the 25 billion downloads. I'm sure you guys heard about that. They've said that they're really proud about their App Store and they're really successful with that. And continuing with that, they said that they have 100 million iCloud users, which is a little bit of a shock to me, but it's great for Apple. I know that they really have been trying to tout that as a great service, so obviously people have bought into it. But then basically they use those two things to feed into their new Apple TV, which was released today. This new Apple TV looks generally the same, but it supports 1080p video with a new streamlined interface. It's not an iOS interface, as you can see, but you are allowed to listen to music, movies, TV shows, etc. over iCloud because iCloud works for it, and it does look like a great new interface. I think it's going to be popular. It costs $99, and you can pre-order today, but it's going to be available on March 16th. And moving on from the Apple TV, Apple didn't really introduce anything, but they did introduce, obviously, the main attraction, the new iPad. As I said at the beginning of this video, and from the title, as you can probably see, I have iPad 3 or iPad HD. Actually, it has no name, and Apple has just decided to call it the new iPad. I think they're trying to move away from the numbers and just consider every iPad that's released just the iPad, which I can deal with. I kind of wish it was named the iPad 3 or iPad HD, but I guess the new iPad isn't too bad. It's a little general, but whatever. The main feature they included in it is a Retina Display. It has a resolution of 2048 by 1536, which is absolutely incredible. It's got 3.1 million pixels, which is more than an HD TV, which is, I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And it has 264 pixels per inch. So overall, the display is amazing. The demonstrations they showed today were great. It looks like the Retina Display is going to be a big hit. Moving on, there is a home button. All the rumors who said there wasn't a home button are false because there actually is one. The processor, they updated to A5X, not to an A6 as the rumors said, which is supposed to be twice as fast generally in speed, and in graphics it's supposed to be 4 times as fast, and they say they actually have quad-core graphics now, which is absolutely insane. The graphics look like they're going to be great, so I'm looking forward to that. The cameras, they did update the camera. Now they're calling it the EyeSight camera, just like a Mac. They say that they have a 5 megapixel backside illuminated sensor, which I'm not really sure if it's the same as the iPhone 4S or the iPhone 4. I think for stills it's the same as the iPhone 4, but they did say for video it can record 1080p video recording with stabilization and autofocus, which is the same as the iPhone 4S. So I think they combined the still camera of the iPhone 4 with the video camera of the iPhone 4S, which is good enough for me, and I'm sure most people who use their iPad don't really use it for the video taking purposes, so I think it's good enough for the iPad, which is good to hear. However, they didn't update the front-facing camera, which is a little upsetting because most people use that for video chatting, but I guess it's good enough quality for right now, and I'm sure they'll update it in the next generation. But I did wish they updated updated it in this version, but oh well. Another disappointing thing is there is no full Siri. They're just keeping it to the iPhone 4S, but there is voice dictation. On the iPad keyboard, there's a new keyboard button that allows you to say things and it will actually type it out for you. So it is a little bit surprising that they haven't included Siri with voice dictation, but maybe that will be included later in a later OS update, because as you know, you can actually run that through jailbreaks. So hopefully they'll include that later. I think it's necessary, but right now we're going to have to deal with it. Another big feature Apple released is 4G LTE. The iPad is going to be a 4G LTE compatible device. It's going to work with 4G on Verizon, Rogers, Bell, Telus, and AT&T. At the moment, no Sprint or other carriers. Hopefully they update that later in the year. And all of these are going to be 3G world ready, and they can be used as personal hotspots, which means you can use 3G all through the world, 4G wherever 4G is compatible, and you can use personal hotspots all the time. One thing that is upsetting is they're doing different versions for 4G. So, for example, the Verizon version is going to be different, the Rogers version is going to be different, and the technology for the cell technology is going to be different in them, but all of them will be able to use 3G around the world, which I guess makes up for that fact. Also, they updated the battery. It's going to be 10 hours on 3G use, 9 hours on 4G, so probably around 10 hours around there, which is good. That's generally what the iPad 2 was. It's not a huge update, but it's still good. It is slightly heavier and slightly thicker. It's 1.4 pounds, which is a little upsetting, but it's not really that big of a deal because you're not really going to notice it. And to end with, the iPad 3 is going to be $499, a beginning price. They generally kept the same prices, which is a great thing because they're giving you way better features with the same price. And you can pre-order it today, which is March 7th, and it's going to be available on March 16th, which is great. And basically wrapping up the conference, Apple did release some new games, an updated version of iLife and an updated version of iWork, which are all pretty much incremental. But iMovie did get a slightly new interface, which is great. It's easier to use. And iPhoto, they did spend a lot of time explaining because it's the first time we've seen iPhoto on an iOS device. But it's been updated to not only a photo viewer, but you can also heavy edit photos on the iPad. And I expect this to actually be ported to the Mac with Mountain Lion later this year. So that's great. All those things have been updated, available in the App Store today. They didn't say if iPhoto was going to be on the iPhone, but I assume it will eventually be ported. And finally, the iPad 2's price has been dropped to $100 to $399. So if you don't really feel like you need the features of the iPad 3, you can definitely get the iPad 2 for a cheaper price and save $100 because that is still a great device in my opinion as well. So that's everything that was released at the conference, guys. Tim Cook did say at the end of the conference, although there was no one more thing, which Apple tends to do, he did say 2012 is a big year and there's a lot to look forward to. So I expect they're going to be updating a lot of things such as the new Macs, etc., the new iPhone 5, which is a rumor coming out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to 2012 in terms of Apple, so you probably should too. I'm really excited about that. And yeah, for more, let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments in the descriptions on whether you'll be getting the iPad 3, iOS 5.1, Apple TV, etc. What do you think about the new iPad? And will you be getting it? I most likely will be doing reviews no matter what next week or the following week whenever I have free time. I do have school, so it may be kind of hard to get my hands on the iPad 3, but I will do my best for you guys to do that. And for more tech updates and so you don't miss those reviews, be sure to subscribe. And for this video, be sure to rate, thumbs up, and favorite for more iPad updates. And for more technology updates on Apple and in general, be sure to follow me on Twitter, bookmark my website, like me on Facebook, follow me on Google+, and subscribe to my gaming partner channel, all in the description. Greatly appreciate it, guys. Really helps me out. And yeah, be sure to stay tuned for more updates, and I will keep you guys updated. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Peace.